What's up, you guys? This is One Classic Gamer here, and your resident Zelda expert.
Along with Justin saying
Nah, bro.
2099, preferably 2099. Coming at you with some more. Honestly, at this point, I can't even say Zelda lore. It's just okay, we're gonna just pretty much be shooting the shit while we talk about whatever comes across our minds as we watch Zelda, basically Tears of the Kingdom.
Yay! So, what were we talking about last time? Microsoft gaming,
Xbox.
the next console. You hope that it,
which not next gen. It's just another Xbox. It's white. So basically, basically an Xbox Series X, but storage, but it's a Series S.
And it's a bitch, dude, if you think about it, because it's like the last really good Xbox console was the 360.
Yeah.
You know, that was the one where they had so many games that, if you were a fighter, if you were into fighting games, good, they got you. If you were into, shooters, they got you. If you were into open world games, they had something for you, Now it just seems like games are they got their own, clubs, literally, you want to be in our club, well, you gotta like this type of game, Well,
it's kind of like how PlayStation has exclusive games. It's but their games are more immersive, and it's basically like an interactive movie where it's okay, this is basically a movie that you get to be a part of and watch. But it's okay, but what if I just want to get in and just start doing stuff? And it's no, that's not the point of the game. The point of the game is for you to watch the visuals and the story and the characters and develop them. And I'm yeah,
I don't got time for that.
Yeah. It's listen, dude, it's 80 to 100 hours, and it's just but all you get to do in those 80 to 100 hours, it's yeah, I got
I'm turning the AC back on.
40 minutes before I gotta go to sleep. I just want to jump in and do something, and get out, jump in, jump out, which is why I like fighting games. Fighting games, you just jump in, get your characters, you fight, you win, you lose, and you move on to the next one.
Can I ask you something? When you watch my Gears and Resident Evil, does the story entertain you, or is it more the gameplay that you're entertained by?
Well, see, when it came to Gears of War, it was the story.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely the story. With RE, it's
watching you survive,
Well, watching you survive, but it's also about okay, I remember the original RE, and it's okay, seeing what you would know, okay, I remember this scene from the PlayStation. Oh, this is what they changed. This is what they changed. Oh, this is new. That's new. And what's crazy is I think Resident Evil actually started on the Sega Saturn.
Yeah, see, I knew the first game came out around it was the 80s, wasn't it? It was the late 80s, I think, when the first game came out. Or the early 90s.
I think
2 came out in 90, 95 or something like that. I don't remember. I mean, I wasn't alive at the time, but
And my earliest recollection was Resident Evil being on the Sega Saturn. And
see, my first foray. Oh, I hate these wolves so much, dude. They're so annoying. But yeah. Anyways, my first foray. He just disappeared. Did you see that?
I did.
What the hell? I forgot about that. Okay, moving on. My first foray into Resident Evil was the 5th game. The one where you're playing as Chris and you're in Africa. That was my first Resident Evil game I played, and that's the one that a lot of people were this is when Resident Evil went downhill. But if you think about it with anything Resident Evil, popular series and franchises, you're always gonna have different people who say, no, the series got bad on this one, you know? And you're going to have people like, no, it was this one when it got bad, you know? It's just like... I guess the message of, you know, this minute-long lecture is that everyone has their own opinions, I guess. Wow.
The thing is, it's what about what you want. Like, it's not so much about following people and, like, the crowds and, like, what everybody says. It's what you get out of it. Like, there are some games that, like, people say, oh, they're absolutely terrible and garbage, but it's, like, fun to play. Like, one game, and a lot of people said it was terrible, and it kind of was, but it was fun to play. Marvel Nemesis for the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. The graphics were terrible. The story was bad. But it was a fun, entertaining game to play. It was just like, okay, the concept was like cool. The execution was bad. Same thing with Mortal Kombat versus DC, where it's like the idea was so sick, insane. It's like, yeah, okay, and it kind of made sense, like how they made it. It was just the execution was just awful.
Yeah, you know which one I remember that I strangely, weirdly liked still when I was a kid? Spider-Man 3. That game, I don't know if you played it or not, but like the Spider-Man movie games were so much fun, you know, but like the third one was like a mess, you know, but like for some reason, like I still wanted to master it back then and learn it, you know, and like keep playing it, even though it was just like poorly developed. I mean, I guess my naive gamer brain at the time couldn't comprehend that, you know, some games are just poorly developed, you know, like...
And see, there were two different Spider-Man 3 games. Because there was Spider-Man 3 for the Nintendo Wii and the PlayStation 2. And there was Spider-Man 3 for the Xbox 360. And I had a Nintendo Wii at the time. And my friend, he had an Xbox 360. So the day, I remember I pre-ordered it, fully paid for it. I was ready for this game. And since it was coming on the Nintendo Wii, I had the interactive controller. So I was like, dude, I was literally walking down the street, imagining myself like throwing out the like web. And I'm like, I would be jumping and I would be like, throwing out this.
Do you remember if the movie had come out yet at that point? Or was it like about to come out?
No, Spider-Man 3 had already, it released like a week. It released a week after the movie. So like you know how like most movies come out Thursday or Friday?
Yeah,
Spider-Man 3 came out the following Tuesday, because I guess that way like it avoids spoilers. So like you know, but anyway, my friend, he had the 360 version and I had the Nintendo Wii version. So I go over his house and like we play on the Spider-Man 3 on the 360, and I'm like, yo, you got the whole interactive like quick time thing, yeah.
Which
so I was
people
like,
hate now.
Man, I can't wait to experience that. And then I get home and I like plug in my Spider-Man 3, and it was a whole another thing. It was nowhere near like, nothing like...
It was like the low budget version.
Yeah.
You know?
It would be the equivalent of if they came out with like Sonic Adventure like from the Dreamcast. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, well, I have a like Nintendo 64, but it's the same. It's coming out on the same like, you know, it's the same game, and you're thinking you're gonna get the same experience, and you absolutely don't.
What was I gonna say? Hey, you're lucky that you didn't get the Xbox experience, bro. I'm sure the Wii experience sucked too, but like those QuickTime events were so hard in that game.
And you know,
you had to literally press them right when the game wanted you to press them sometimes. Like I remember the part where you're down in the sewers with the lizards.
Oh,
that shit was so annoying, dude.
And what was so insane about that was like they were never the same buttons. So if you did the sequence the first time and you messed up and you had to do it again, they were different buttons. So you're like,
well, too bad.
Yeah, now you're going to have to figure out another sequence of buttons. But then if you managed to pull it off, then it was like it was like a one-time thing. Like you just do it once, and I was like, oh, I want to do that again. And then you go back down, and it's like, no, you just did it the one time.
You got lucky.
Yeah.
Like, you're not as good as you thought you were.
Because I know there was one of them where you were in New York on the
now
bridge.
We're in New York. Sorry.
No. I thought that was beautiful. Like that was great. Like
thanks, dude.
But there was this scene where
I was gonna try to sing the rest of the lyrics, but I didn't know them fully, so I was like, I don't think I should.
Yeah, you probably should. Yeah. But there was like a.
Inspire you.
I had no idea what the lyrics were, so I definitely would have lost that one. But there was a scene where like the cars were like exploding or being launched at you, and Spider-Man's doing his thing, dodging them like in like super like agile ways. But if you messed up, they show the sequence where the car would hit you, so you'd be like, "Oh, he dodged this car. Oh, you missed the quick time action." And the car would hit you, and then like it would cut to.
And you're just like, well, and that was the end of Spider-Man, you know. It's just like I don't mean to keep bringing it back to RE, bro, but just like in RE2, the first time you saw me get hit by that crane, you know, like,
yeah,
it hit the fucking boss, and I'm like, oh yeah, and then no shit, you know, like what happened?
Or the one like where you like hit it, and then you had an ample time, and it seemed like you waited for the crane because you're like, you push the button, and you're like, oh, is it coming? Nah, it's not. Oh, okay, now I see it starting to move. Now let me walk over. Oh my god, it actually hit me.
I still feel like the bosses in RE2 are more irritating than the bosses in RE3, you know? Because the bosses in RE3, like, once you get the dodging down, you know, like, you can pass them, like, 90% of the time, you know? It's just like, in RE2, they put you in the shittiest arenas ever. Like, the smallest, most cramped fucking spots. And it's like, where do you go when their attack is literally, like, half of the fucking, you know, reaches, like, half of the... Probably not half, but, like, a quarter of the actual space that you're in. You know? But, anyway, Spider-Man 3. You said, when you get hit by the car, basically, right?
Oh, I ended it already. Like, if you hit the button on time...
Spider-Man 2 was really good.
No, Spider-Man 2 was the best of
I want to go back. Like, just talking about it makes me want to go back and replay, like start playing it, you know?
I would. I definitely would.
And I would just, like, spend so much time in that game doing nothing but swinging around, you know?
And that was the funnest thing.
That was it. That was all you needed, you know?
And see, what was so fun about that one, because... It was a 100% upgrade compared to that first Spider-Man 1.
But I still like the first one too, honestly. It had a charm to it.
Okay.
Even though you're not like fully like freely like you could still hold the button. He does the you know the
yeah, but the fact that he was swinging from nothing.
That was definitely like, you want me to think that he's going like and the web's going to like this building over here.
Yeah,
like.
And then the fact that like that was like the ground was bad. Like,
I think you're underestimating the power of his web shooters. He's shooting them up into space, and the space is keeping him in the air.
But see, I can understand too. But you also have to understand they were going off the comic book Spider-Man games.
The natural webs.
No, the comic book Spider-Man. Remember Spider-Man 1 and 2, like, for the PlayStation?
Was that... Yeah.
Where, like, you were above the city of New York.
And Xbox,
and you couldn't, like, go below the... There was, like, some clouds or gas or something that was below the city, so you couldn't go below that.
I don't think I played that, actually.
Okay. Well, for those that have played, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where you couldn't touch the ground. Peter's web shooters like you could actually run out of web because like comic accurate, he actually made his web shooter so he had like a limited number of web shooters.
Mm-hmm.
And you swing it across the city, well, you just pretty much swing from rooftop to rooftop, but it didn't have to line up to anything.
Yeah.
And then the same thing with Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro. That time they did let you go to the ground. But you have to understand, dude, this is like, what, mid-90s? So, like, come on, dude. Like, we could not be that graphically, like...
But it wasn't no Superman 64, right? It wasn't that bad.
Dude, we do not talk about that. We do not talk
like,
about
we don't even acknowledge that game's existence,
Man.
you know?
Like, for all of those that felt that, like, pit in your stomach when he said that, I felt your pain, I felt it too. Man. Honestly, like, you should get, like, just get, like, a clip and just show the, like, 64 cover and just, like... I mean, Superman.
You can get, like, any screenshot, and it tells you everything you need to know, you know? Like...
Although... I would say this, though. I did enjoy Superman Returns for the 360. That was, like, pretty fun. It was still...
Which one was that again?
The Brandon Routh Superman, that horrible Superman that came out in 2006.
I actually kind of liked that movie, but I think if I went back, I haven't watched it in a long time, so my opinion might.
I won't say it was horrible.
I just remember that scene where the guy literally shoots the gun and the bullet hits him in the eye and it just goes
bounces off.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, there's all the different ways you could have shown us that Superman is like OP. You're like, we're going to have a slow motion Matrix shot where we shoot him in the eyeball. You know, like, it's a cool concept on paper, but like...
Well, even when you saw it in theaters, like, you're like, yeah, like, the most sensitive part of the human body. Yep, he's invulnerable there too.
I love the part where he stops the plane from crashing. That part is really good. In the stadium or whatever, remember?
Yeah.
That was a good part. And then there was another part in that movie where when he's like getting his powers and he's like jumping in the fields and stuff. And then eventually he starts flying. Like, I remember in the theater being like, whoa, you know, like, honestly, you might not agree with me, bro, but I think I like that movie more than Man of Steel, you know? I don't like Man of Steel at all. I think Man of Steel is very overrated, you know? Like, that movie is just kind of like, honestly, like, 90% destruction, and then, which gets exhausting after a while. And then the rest of, like, the other 10% is, like, the little bit of character development there, you know? But that's kind of Zack Snyder. Like, his movies are all, like, style and no substance, you know? Like, he goes for, like, the stylistic approach. But, I mean, I haven't seen the Snyder cut, so I can't comment on that. But, like, he doesn't really work as hard on the characters, you know? Like,
He did on Justice League.
I didn't watch it though, so I can't comment on that, you know?
Do you got 4 hours to spare?
Nah. I gave that 4 hours away to this, bro. You know, like...
You know what, that's like the perfect segue to get right back into Zelda. It's like, yeah, see how much, like, I love you guys? Like, instead of watching Zack Snyder's Justice League... For 4 hours, I just walked around.
You'll be more entertained watching my shit for 4 hours. So this one is unique because it's another one of those place the item on the pedestal, but this is the only one in the entire game where you have to actually, like, get a fish and, like, place it there. You know? Like, you have to literally grab the fish out of the water, set it by the fire. You can't collect it because if you collect it, you can't drop it on the ground again. And then you just use... Ultra Hand to basically cannonball. Nice. Yeah. That was a perfect segue too. If I do say so myself.
Even though it wasn't a cannonball, it was just a dive. But
yeah, cannon dive.
Really, cannon dive? Okay. Like that's definitely like a
think
Pokemon
about it.
Like that's definitely a Pokemon move list.
Think about it, bro. Think about it. You see the waves go up. Isn't that crazy? They're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro?"
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
I'm hitting my leg just to clarify. When you're diving, dude, you're straight like a cannon. So it's a cannon dive. Get it? Doesn't that make sense? Dude, this is the thing you only come up with if you're a stoner like me. Yeah. Oh, stoner conspiracy theorist. Okay, the cat's out of the bag. Yeah, I'm a stoner. You guys already knew that. God. So let's just move on and forget that I ever mentioned it. Okay. Are you good with that, Justin?
It's funny how you could just have an edit button and just like I was just gonna see how long you were gonna go on to be like, oh well, I could just edit that out. Good thing I'm a beep, and then like have your viewers like fill in the gaps. Like, what could like classic gamer be? He could be a blank. Like,
I had so much trouble hitting these fucking shots, dude.
I can tell mainly by you missing.
But look at it though, like.
But see, you'd be great at like this. And see this kind of mechanics right here. This is how you play Battlefield 2042. You just It's like you just got to calculate for the bullet drop.
It's worse when the targets are moving. You know, sometimes they're moving around and shit. And it's like, you're already giving me like an extra 30 hours of running around and searching for these things. You can at least make the puzzle easy, you know, or like short. But even Nintendo's like, nah. You know what? I've commented on this before. You know, we can talk about Zelda because I have something to talk about here. The developers probably didn't expect most people to fully 100% these games. So they just repeated the same puzzles over and over and over and over and over again. But they didn't account for someone crazy like me to literally do everything. So when you're doing it all at once, it just feels like torture, dude. It's just like, yeah, like that. Like yawning, you know? Like, just, like, serious torture.
And then, like, piggybacking off of what he said and just coming up with filler so we could avoid that awkward silence.
Dude, it was only, like, 2 seconds.
Yeah, 2 seconds is an eternity to people watching online.
Yeah, it's true. You low attention spanners.
What? Are you trying to click? I see you trying to click on the next video. Like, don't do that. Stop skipping ahead. No. And
or those people that watch a second and then they leave a negative comment. Like, bro, if you just played the whole video all the way through, you dumb. You know, like, you know what I'm talking about? Those people that leave those hate comments. They're like, you didn't talk about this or that. And I'm like, I did. Did you watch the whole fucking video? You know, like, God. And then they try to flip it on you and make you seem like you're the bad guy. Like, yeah. Basically, you know, life sucks. There's so many people that are gonna try to flip the script on you constantly in life.
Ah, man, listen, you gotta have people that just hate you, like, hate what you do just because, like, you do it. It's like, you can have this right here. There's somebody who's like in this world existing. It's like, oh wow, somebody's doing a Legend of Zelda commentary. Nope, gotta hate that. So, hey guys, this is me. Look at this video. Isn't this stupid? It's like, you're watching a video of us watching a video, giving our commentary, and you're giving a commentary of why you think it sucks. But you're watching like our commentary, so it's like,
what is it?
Like, what is it? So
what are you doing with your life? You know, like, yeah. I mean, dude, fuck. I had a response for that, man, to keep this going for a little bit, but I forgot about what I was saying.
Dude, I don't know how that is. Dude, I don't know what it is. And it comes randomly.
Yeah.
You'll have an idea and you're like, yeah, I'm going to talk about the thing that I was going to talk about that I just can't remember all of a sudden. I meant to talk about it.
Like I was literally going to piggyback off of your piggyback, you know? And we probably would have bought ourselves at least like 4 or 5 minutes. At least. But, I don't know. This is like the laziest Korok in my opinion, the one where you have to land on the target, you know? Because it's just like, yeah, wow, that was really hard, guys. You know, like... But then Nintendo's like, what do you want? Do you want long-ass puzzles or short Koroks? Like, are you inconsistent or are the viewers inconsistent?
See, now that is the question you gotta ask yourself.
Am I just projecting my insecurities on you guys? Is that what's really going on? Whenever I say shit like that there are people like you who just leave negative comments for no reason. And then I spend my entire day doing that. No, I'm just kidding.
Take the next 15 seconds to fill out this brief survey. And then you just have like a little screen that pops up and like it's like a little fake survey with a little timer.
Dude, I had like 2 or 3 days in a row where I was just getting... Are you alright, man?
I am. That spicy chili powder coffee is running out.
Wearing off. I had like 3 or 4 days in a row where I was just getting a bunch of those like election, like political texts and stuff. You know that they somehow find everyone's number, you know?
Right.
And I was so irritated because with my job, you know, 90% of my job is me, you know, being on my phone, like answering calls and texts and emails and everything. And I got so irritated and fed up that one person like texted me and was one of those things, and I was like, you know what? I am not interested. Stop fucking texting me. No one cares about you and I'm like literally talking to no one because it's probably an automated, you know, like messaging thing that's like not an actual person texting me, you know?
Yeah.
So that was kind of sad.
Unless you get those people that actually are, and they're like, hey, you know, election year is this year, and, you know, our party could really use your support, so if you can go ahead and donate to today and any amount, at least of $50, and you're like, I don't have $50. And they're like, that's okay. We understand. If you just got $40, we'll accept that. And it's like, no, you don't understand. I don't have any money. Oh, well, if you can just simply donate $20, I mean, we'll accept $20. And it's like, dude, no. You're not hearing the part where I say I have no money. Well, we understand. It's a tough economy for everybody. So just with your $5
just give us 17.
Yeah.
You know, like...
It's like, at this point, I'm just going to hang up.
And block you.
Yeah, block your number. And, but they'll just call from another number.
Yeah, like, I don't know how they know, bro.
Speaking of getting calls you hate, viewers, and you comment down below if this has been you. You ever get like a phone call from Marriott saying that you got a free night stay that a friend recommended you?
This is another inside joke. Explain, bro. Tell him.
No, periodically, well, we all know like scammers are out there, but my favorite scammers are the ones that call saying like someone recently stayed at a Marriott hotel and recommended you, and you get a free night stay. And my thing is like, if any of my friends ever gave anybody else my number and recommended me for something, that's the moment they just became unfriended. Because I'm like, no, under no circumstances. But I hated those things so much.
Yeah.
And then if you block them, you block that number, but they call from another similar number.
Because they still have your information. So
of course they do.
So they're like, we're gonna, you know, we'll try again the next day. Well, maybe he'll be in a better mood. You know, like...
Right.
You know, like, no. Like... Oh, God. Honestly, if you think about it, scammers are kind of like trolls.
They are.
They make you think that, like, you're getting something good out of it, but when you actually look at it, it's, like, so much more than they thought that... Then they explained it to you when they pitched it to you. And they pitch it to you in a way because once they got you, like, they got you, you know? And all they got to get you to do is, like, spend that money, you know? But it's just like, no, just don't. I'll admit, you don't have to admit, Justin, or share any of your stories if you have any, but I will admit, do you guys know V-Shred? The workout guy? The freaking, he's like a fitness guy. If you go on YouTube, there are so many V-Shred ads. One time, I almost got scammed like $500 into signing up for one of his programs. He starts off by saying, it's only going to cost you this much. It's going to be free. And then you go there and you're like, okay. And then he starts in his video saying, no, you're going to have to pay for this program. You're going to have to pay for this program. You're going to have to pay for our special supplements, this and that, you know. pretty soon you're spending like $500, you know? And I actually did it, but then I quickly realized, no, this is a scam. And thankfully, he lets you get a refund. He gives you like a 30-day like money back, you know, guarantee. So I'm like, no, I'll just do it the natural way. And my lazy ass has not returned to the gym since, you know, but still, like, I almost got scammed by V-Shred.
No, my scam story came when I was applying. I was trying to register for trade tech. I was trying to like enroll, and I would say like the day I went down to the campus and I like got the information. I gave him my information. I was like, okay, let me see what I want to like take or whatever. I get a phone call saying that Obama has started like some like program, and based on my tax bracket, I qualified for like a $5,000 like, you know, grant or whatever. And since I was like actually registering, I actually believed it. So like I called the number and I had a representative, and it was like, okay, all you have to do is we'll get you started, but you just got to pay like for the application. All you need to do is go down and get like a green dot money card. I'm like, okay, put $150 on it, but make sure you get a generic plain green dot card. Make sure it's not like Visa or MasterCard. I was like, oh, okay, but you know, definitely for like $150. So I go down, I buy the money dot card, and then on the back of the card, it literally says, if anybody asks for this number over the phone, it's a scam. So I call the people back, and they're like, hey, okay, so yeah, it's like, okay, so you want me to pay for the application to get the processing, to process the check and everything and mail it to me?
Still going with it, right?
Yeah, so they're like, yeah, could you just give us the number on the back of the card? And I'm looking, and it's like, hey,
you guys know
on
your
the back
card.
of the card, it says not to give the number to anyone over the phone because it says it's a scam. Oh no, it just says that, you know, to kind of like warn people, but like,
what?
We're legit and everything. Like, we're legitimate. Like, as you can see, like, you can check our website. So I went ahead, I was like, okay, you know that like that something doesn't seem right feeling, but I ignore it. So I give them the number. So it's like, oh, okay, thank you, or we're going to, like, process it. So then she, like, processes it, and then she's like, oh, there's nothing on the card. Let me transfer you to my, like, supervisor. I'm like, okay. I talk to a supervisor, and then I check the card. Then there's nothing on the card. So it's like, yeah, there's $0.00. So I'm like, hey. So now I try to call back. Of course, I never get the woman again. I get some dude. I'm like, hey,
they're
man,
onto us.
I was talking to some woman. Oh, yeah, she's assisting other customers. I need to talk to her. And it's like, hey, we pulled the account information, and it's a federal offense to lie to people like doing this kind of thing. And I was like, well, go ahead and call the feds because I know I had $150 on this green dot card. I'm holding the receipt that says I put $150 on here. And then next thing you know, like, the dude just kind of like hung up. And that was the first time in my life where it's like, you ever watch those old school Looney Tune episodes where somebody got duped super bad and their face transforms into a donkey and they're wearing that little saddle that just says jackass on the thing? And I just hear that womp, 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 womp. And $150, man, just a week's worth of pay. Yeah.
Oh, God.
So yeah, once you've been scammed, you know, it happens.
I mean, I'll admit I've been tricked a few times, but like I think the worst scenario was that time when I spent $500 on the workout plan, you know, and like, what's it called? I should have like here's my advice for you guys. Serious advice. If you think it looks legit, do your fucking research. Look into it. Do your research. Don't just immediately jump at it. If they're obviously, I don't need to tell anyone this, but I'm saying it anyway. If they're saying, oh, you can get X amount of dollars, like, no. Nothing is that fucking easy. Nothing is ever going to be that easy, children. Okay, I feel like children are the only ones who need to hear this lesson right now. If there are any like young children like within the ages of 16 to 18 watching this shit, like, don't do your research. You know, like, I mean, and don't be ashamed if you get fooled. We've all been there. You know, what am I doing in this video? I'm making a public service announcement in a fucking public service announcement.
No, it is a public service announcement.
In a Zelda video. Oh, man.
Like, you almost lost confidence in your own public service announcement. Like,
dude, that's why I always failed all tests in school, bro. Because, like, I had the right answer, but then I'm like...
But then you make it the wrong answer. You're
yeah.
like, I knew that was the answer. I don't know why I didn't trust myself.
Like, yeah, you got a D on this.
There's nothing worse than seeing like that right answer highlighted and you like mark it off and then you like put the wrong one and then they mark it wrong and I'm like, no, this was the right answer and you're like, no.
Dude. In college, I would straight up just cheat. I would literally be in the back of class with my phone like this underneath my desk on Quizlet looking up the answers. And then I would just, like, put them all in, you know?
That's how I was when I had to do book reports. I would just go to Pink Monkey and just be like...
I got caught for plagiarism one time. Did I ever tell you that?
But see, here's the thing. You gotta put it in your own words.
I had to go to work in 2 hours, which was my fault because the paper was due that night. And I was tired... So I literally copy and pasted like 3 separate articles into like a 5-page paper and reworded some of them into my own words, but most of it was like copy and paste, you know? And the thing is, when you're doing, it was on any college students out there who use Canvas. Most of you probably know, a lot of you probably know what Canvas is. You submit it to this website called turnitin.com and it does like this thing where it literally like goes over the paper and detects whether or not it's been plagiarized or not. I get out of work, dude. I had a heavy labor job at the time. I get out of work. I'm fucking tired, stressed out at the time because I'm in the middle of the semester, which is like the most stressful time because you're nowhere near the beginning or the end of the semester and you got a shit ton of assignments, you know? So it's just like, God. I'm all tired from work and then I get an email from my professor saying, so we caught you. He basically saying, I'm giving you a D minus on this because your paper has been plagiarized. The only reason why I'm not suspending you right now is because your writing still makes up a majority of the paper. And I'm like, damn, I literally could have gotten suspended and not been able to finish college if it was like a little bit worse than it actually was, you know? But, yeah, that's the one time I got caught for plagiarizing. And I learned right after that, you can plagiarize, but put it in your own words, you know? Don't procrastinate, honestly. That's my thing. I feel like the beginning of this video, we were talking about video games and Xbox and Microsoft and shit, and now we're talking about...
It's like, we're on that real life stuff, like, real life lessons. It's like, welcome one classic gamer and Justin saying 2099, giving you like real life tips while watching Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We're just like giving you real life information so you don't have your personal Tears of the Kingdom.
But is this real life or is the game real life? And are we made up? Think about that, bro.
Well, I'm definitely level 99 OP, Epic Plus character unlocked, so... If it is...
You're like anime tier, bro.
Pretty much.
Dragon Ball tier. Why am I coming back here to the water temple? I don't know. But probably to get the last Korok. Because we're done with this video, Justin. We made it. We made it through another one. So, yeah. Next time, the next video isn't going to be anywhere near as long as this. I actually think it's going to be a shorter video. Which is good for me and for Justin and I. Because... I think we're both kind of crashing at this point, but we almost made it with this week's worth of videos. So if you guys enjoyed this, please comment, like, subscribe, share this with your friends, and yeah, I'm just getting this last Korok here. I have to hit these targets on the waterfall and whatnot, and there he is, and the video's gonna end. So I will see you guys when we see you guys next. So I'll see you guys later. Say bye, Justin.
I will see you in the next one. Yeah. Okay, we'll just
we're gonna cut it off.
Like, subscribe. Bye. Later.
Bye.